Welcome to our 21st episode of Black Dance Stories. I forgot to turn down my sound, sorry. Here's a note about why we're here. Our dance world was pummeled by COVID-19, and Black dance artists are finding ways to talk about life during this time. Our world was further turned upside down after horrible events ensued nationally and globally, bringing attention yet again to the need for the Black Lives Matter movement. Black dance artists have not been quiet since. Black dance artists have been doing the work. Black dance artists continue to make work. To stay involved, we hold these weekly impromptu discussions and tell stories, Black dance stories. This is one action, and we promise to stay involved. We are a community working together to support, uphold, highlight, and celebrate Black creatives. Tonight is our 21st episode of what we hope will be many stories told in the artist's own voices. Thank you so much for making time to witness. Please help to spread the word about our special time together. Tonight, it's Diane Harvey-Salaam and Maurice Chestnut's turn. And it was just Diane's birthday on the 17th, so stay tuned for a little birthday celebration. Please meet part of our BDS team, and I will go first. I am Charmaine Warren. I am a Jamaican. I am the great-granddaughter of Ida Boyd, granddaughter of Solomon Golson and Ruby Chapman, and I am one of 9 children by Theophilus Warren and my 94-year-old mother, Pearline Warren, who lives in Jamaica. I am a non-disabled Black woman. With the utmost respect to the Native people, I acknowledge that I live on the stolen land of the indigenous Lenape people, now known as Montclair, New Jersey, with my husband, photographer and graphic artist, Tony Turner. Our daughter, Ashe Turner, a Black ballerina with locks, is in her junior year at Boston Conservatory. I have locks that fall to my shoulders. I'm wearing a pumpkin-colored blouse, wicker earrings. Behind me are photos of our family, a large plant, a lamp, and African masks. Welcome to our happy place. Happy Black Dance Stories Thursday to our old and new friends. And please, as I said earlier, don't forget to spread the word about what we do and why we do it. Another special thanks to these artists, friends, community activators who make this happen every week. I turn it over to Kimani.
Thank you, Charmaine. Welcome, y'all. I love starting with this from Disabella Grimes' mama, Gloria Grimes. Delicious, delightful, dancing night. What? And the importance of acknowledging our familial and dance legacies is an essential tradition. With deep respect and honor, I want to acknowledge the Lenape people whose stolen land I am zooming from, currently known as the village of Harlem. I am a Black, non-disabled woman, and I live with my 9-year-old son. I am sitting in my dining room. I have a golden low-cut haircut, and I'm wearing a deep red, Black polka-dotted shirt, long sleeves, with big silver hoop earrings. I am the granddaughter of Lucille Madison, English professor. I teach because of her. Daughter of Ronald Augustus Fowlin, Jamaican warrior and gourmet chef. And Anne Fowlin, rebel and Renaissance woman. I dance because of them. My son Tamayo keeps me present, and I am constantly in awe of him as a blossoming young visual artist. Nick, I turn it to you.
Thank you, Kimani. Hi, everyone. I'm Nicholas Xavier Hall. I'm Haitian American. I am a non-disabled Black man. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am the grandson of Gertha Farr and John-Claude Hall, Jacques Arnold Nicholas, and Marie Violette Alexandre. I was born in Brooklyn to Sheila in Curdance Hall. My family, including my sisters Isabella and Victoria, I live in Montclair, which is on the stolen land of the indigenous Lenape people. I'm also a recent graduate of the Fordham Ailey BFA program. I dance because it reminds me to keep dreaming. I'm in a white room wearing a brown corduroy shirt and a gray hoodie. Behind me is a mirror, a TV, and a painting. I'm going to pass things over to Kimani.
Thank you, Nick. So, as you know, it takes this village and this family of BDS who are not only in front of the screen, but behind. And I would love to say their names: Cynthia Tate, publicist; Gabe Descoladenu, web designer; Caitlin Chandler, video tech; Renee Redding Jones, director of development; Tony Turner, graphic designer; and our ASL interpreters, Sharuk, Kira, and Kenya. So, can I take a moment here just to ask you very, very seriously that this is such an important venture that we're on, this sharing of Black stories. It is necessary that it keep going. And with that, we need your help, right? Think of the times that we're now in the house that we're not spending on transportation or going to the movies or seeing a show. Please consider donating it back to this Black dance stories so that we can keep this going indefinitely. I really implore, I really beg, I really ask, we need the community's help. All right? Thank you so much. And I am going to pass it back to Nick.
Thank you. So a big part of Black Dance Stories is the community that we create. So we want to see who's watching tonight. So part of that is leaving your name in the chat, saying hello to your neighbor, dropping hello, anything you'd like really. But another important part is helping us build our family. So by doing that, we want you to subscribe to our channel because we have a goal of making it to 1,000 subscribers. So we really need your support. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, your grandpa, tell them to subscribe. While you're also doing that, please follow our Instagram at Black Dance Stories, follow our Twitter at BLK Dance Stories, and like us on Facebook. While you're also there, grab a glass of water, a glass of wine, a cocktail, whatever makes you happy, but let's cheers to Black Dance Stories.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And I don't want to forget, our BDS team will continue to stand with our sisters and brothers in Africa in solidarity with all those who want an immediate end to systemic racism. So please, please consider doing your part to make sure these things come to an end. And with that, I turn it over to Charmaine.
And I got it. Oh, from New York to New Jersey. I got it. I got it. Yay. Thank you for being here again today. Listen to our pleas, listen to our call, and come back. Come back with more people. We ask you to do that. So Kimani and Nick are going to go for a little while. And we're going to bring in the illustrious Diane Harvey-Salaam. Come on in, Sister Di.
Here I am.
Hey, cheers.
I think I am. Here I am. Cheers to everyone.
Cheers.
And may we all live in health and peace and safety. So I would pour a little something for those who are not here, but I won't do it on the table. So anyway.
But take a sip, because you can't cheers without taking a sip.
You can't cheers without taking a sip. Here it is.
Right. That glass, that beautiful glass.
Right, but it's got Martinelli's apple pomegranate cider. Because we have to keep ourselves looking young and flawless.
That's right.
Pulling it up. Oh boy. So
introduce yourself.
I am Diane Harvey-Salaam. I am going to follow the script. I am the daughter of Audrey Payne Harvey, Walter F. Harvey Ibaye. He has joined the ancestors. The granddaughter of Edith Carswell. The granddaughter of Hermione Hudgens on my father's side. The great-granddaughter of Jesseline Payne. The great-granddaughter of Emma Skinner on my father's side. The sister of Eric Harvey. He lives now in Atlanta. The sister of Lynn Harvey Akan, and she lives in Greensboro, North Carolina. The aunt of Nagasi Harvey, who lives in California. the aunt of Obadeli Akan. Yes, I'm shouting you out, nephew. He lives in Greensboro. Um, the sister-in-law to Obasi Akan, the sister-in-law to Palesa Harvey, the great aunt to Akoto Harvey, who is also in California, the wife of Abdel Ar-Salam, the mother of Kisak Adams, the grandmother of Jasmine and Kayla Adams. Huh, okay, so that's my tree. I am currently living on the stolen lands of the Lenni Lenape. I like to call it Northern Harlem. Other people will call it Washington Heights, but I'm not going to go there. It's not Washington Heights to me. I think what is interesting for me is that I grew up in Schenectady, New York, which is actually on the stolen lands of the Iroquois Nation, specifically the Mohawk and the Oneida people. I got really curious after listening to one of your previous sessions, and I said, okay, well, what does Schenectady mean? So I did my research, and it means land of the pines. The interesting thing about Schenectady is that 1600s, early 1700s, there was a Dutch Hudson River. And the French and the Iroquois nation were in cahoots. They were, trying to get this land back. Yeah. So they attacked Schenectady and they burned it to the ground, right? And so there's actually a stockade in Schenectady that I remember, now I really do remember it, that still has a lot of the charred wood, and the people were trying to take their land back with the aid of the French. My junior high school was called Oneida. And to me at that point, it was just Oneida Junior High School, never really connecting that these were the people that were living in the area before the Dutch came. So again, I would like to give thanks for all who are on the other side of the mirror. My dance family, my biological family, the people who have touched my life. So I want to thank them for taking time to spend time with me and to offer their selves, their lives to me. I am wearing this lovely jacket that I believe my husband brought back from Rwanda. So I love this jacket. It's got all my favorite colors in it. It's purple and blue and golden kind of mango yellow. My earrings were made by Shimoda, and I love these dangling earrings. And yes, I will just wear them around the house. And I will actually even take a ballet bar with them on in the kitchen. Yes, I do those things. So I said to Charmaine, what do you want me to talk about? I don't know what to talk about. I don't know. And then I realized after watching, who was on last week? Virginia. Virginia talked about her life as a young dancer, as a young girl wanting to be a ballerina. And I realized that we traveled a similar path. I think I was 3 or 4 years old and I watched the Nutcracker. It was in black and white. The TV was about the size of this screen. They were all doing the Waltz of the Flowers and all of this and that and so forth. And it was the year that Arthur Mitchell joined the company. Arthur Mitchell and Maria Tallchief danced. I stopped in my tracks. I sat down because I had been running around and trying to dance with them and stuff. I sat down and I watched. I mean, I was spellbound. And My parents were sleeping on the couch behind me. And when they finished, I decided that the name of that section was called The Chocolate, because both of them, Maria was kind of a grayish color, and Arthur was definitely black. So the two of them, they worked well together for my sensibility. So they were the chocolate, and I woke my parents up and I said, look, I can do that. I could do that. And they said, right. And they went on back to sleep. And I think I must have harassed them, just tormented them. So then the following, maybe 2 or 3 months, my mother took me to this ballet school in Albany, which is, about a 20-minute ride. And they had ballet. Maurice, you're going to love this, ballet and tap for a 3-year-old. You stand at the bar, you learn your tap exercises, you learn your little ballet, you hold a bar. This is big fun. So after about a month, I said to my mother, I don't want to do that tap anymore. It's making me sweat. I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it. And she said, okay, well, I'll take you out. No problem. So no sweating, no sweating. But something still clicked inside my body about the ballet. And it wasn't so much that it was the form as much as it gave me the opportunity to control my body in a way that as a little girl, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And I would just say that by the time I turned 7, I taught myself how to cartwheel and at summer camp, and I was cartwheeling everywhere. And I think that kind of reinvigorated, it reawoken the desire to control the body. And so I annoyed my mother. I harassed her again, and she sent me to a woman who would become the most amazing teacher for me. Her name is Marilyn Ramsey, and I stayed with her through the end of high school. It was a fascinating experience. I was the only Black child in the school, but none of that it didn't bother me. I didn't care because I only wanted to learn how to control my body, how to make my body do those things. I was on point. I was doing all of it. That's all I wanted, was to learn how to do those things. At the end of high school, my mother really wanted me to go to Juilliard, but for some weird reason, they weren't accepting freshmen. So there was no college. I wasn't interested in college. I wanted to keep dancing. I auditioned for the Saratoga Performing Arts Center, and I shifted into modern dance. This was one of the most difficult things I think I have ever experienced. Now, there's another one, but I'll tell you about that later. It was shifting from ballet into Graham. Yeah, with Paul Sanasardo and his modern dance artists. Paul Sanasardo was the most amazing teacher. Um, Amazing because of how he merged these two forms. He was a student of Tudor as well as having danced with Martha Graham. Okay, so this is all the white dance world, and that's where you get your technique and et cetera, et cetera. So I spent the summer learning how to be a modern dancer. Alvin's company came up to do a residency and to perform. And I was so bold. I don't even know how where I got that from, except maybe my mother. I said to Alvin at the end of a Horton class, and again, I had never done Horton. I'm only doing Graham, only Graham, only Graham, and of course ballet. Boom, boom, boom. So I take this Horton class. I'm walking down the hallway. Alvin is standing there next to Paul, and I say to Alvin, "So I want to be in your company." And he like reared back. He said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Yeah, yeah. So, what do I have to do?" He said, "Well, you have to come to New York. How old are you?" I said, 17. He said, no, that would be a no, but come to New York. Paul, he looked at Paul, you'll continue to give her a work study scholarship. And you know what that means: clean the floors, clean the mirrors, make sure the studios, blah, blah, blah. And Paul said, but of course. And so that was my entree to moving to New York. It was amazing. Everybody who was anybody came to Paul to get their technique tightened up. I saw Louis Falco, I saw Jennifer Muller, all the Ailey company came to take his class. Miguel Gadreau, amazing, brilliant performer. I was so blessed to work with him. And then I started seeing the black dancers. The black dancers would come to Paul to take class too. I met John Parks and Ron Pratt and Judy Deering, Ibaye. Judy Jameson came. They were all there, and I was just amazed. I was just in this state of constantly being on fire. What I didn't take into consideration is they were also watching me. So no, you like, I'm just on fire about, look at who's going across the floor. Oh my God, I have to go across the floor after them. Oh no, this will be a mess. But they were watching me. And eventually John Parks asked me to learn a solo that he had put on Judy, but Judy Deering, his wife, was pregnant. So that was my first solo to jazz music that required I step outside of the comfort of who I am. I had to become a woman in mourning at 17 years old. No, so I was like, okay, well, I'm sad that I'm sad. I'm just going to be sad, and I will lament for you. And it was a stretch. It was a stretch, and I continued to get to stretch myself when I was introduced to Elio Pomare, my dance father. I have to mention Roberta Pixer. She was in the class watching me. She said, Di, I think Elio needs another dancer. And I was like, okay, Elio, whoever, sure. I'll just go. I'll just go there and be there. Yes, I went. Elio had this habit of smoking the cigarette with the can of beer in the rehearsal process. And so he'd smoke, and he would never blow it in your face, but there would be smoke in the room. And he took 3 hours to teach me maybe 16 counts. And he kept saying to me, you need to embody the scream. You need to embody the longing. You need to embody the reach. Don't just reach. Let me see you believe that you are reaching. So that kind of coaching helped me learn how to use the technique that I had, that I was so blessed to have, the legs and the feet and all of that. And so it helped me learn to use the gifts that I had. Our relationship, I still believe that it is ongoing because it lives inside me, Now, you all know the choreography. Now you're going to talk to each other. You're not dancing. You're going to go to the blocking, but you're going to have a conversation with whoever this other person is that you're dancing with. I thought I was going to lose my mind. But I started learning how to flip into a role and to really be pointed about my exchange with that person. And then he said, okay, now let's run the piece. Now you already have created your dialogue. So now let's run it. And it just became that much more satisfying too. Um, Let me see. I don't know how much more time I have. I don't even know where to go right now. So those are some of my Elio stories.
Oh, Baba Elio.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have commercial life stories. I think the one thing that was interesting for me is that my love for concert dance and my love for commercial had to find this balance. I had to be able to try to do both. And that actually happened when I did The Wiz on Broadway with the maybe I was in like maybe the second company, the second wave through. Um and that was because I had already worked with George Faison. Yay, George. I hope you're here. Um and so at the point that they needed a swing, George gave me a call. He said, "Look, they need a swing. Going down to the audition. Just learn it. Yes, you're in." Boom. I was like, "Whoa, okay." So then you get comfortable kind of like with that paycheck, you know? It's a nice thing. But as the swing, you have to learn every single role that requires a woman to be on the stage. So bless his heart, Al Perryman Ibaye was the dance captain at that point. Oh, maybe no. John was the dance captain. John Parks was the dance captain at that point. Later on, Al Perryman became the dance captain, and I was still swinging. But I ended up creating a notebook that had everybody's track. That's what they're calling it now. Everybody's track. It was like it looked like a coloring book. It had all these different colors, and because I joined in the summertime, the people, I'm going to call them the Negroes, decided that they were going to go to the beach in the daytime. What happens in the day when you go lay on the beach? The sun drains you. So now, mind you, I'm just learning the show. I kind of got the show. And then two or three people would call in, "Oh, we're not coming in tonight." And I was like, "No, you are coming in tonight because I'm already covering two slots. I'm only one person. I'm only right." So I had to like work with them to work with me. Yeah. So that was a great time. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed learning how people who were actually concert dancers. They were wonderful. They were amazing, but they would take advantage of you if they felt that they could. But they were still, my people. They were still my people. Um, I've had a number of injuries and I figured out how to work with the injuries. Thank God for my dear sister friend Ibaye, Judy Covan Neufeld, who gave me the gift of Pilates. Um, the first time I was injured was in the show The Great McDaddy that Diane McIntyre choreographed at the Negro Ensemble Company. Yay, yay, yay. And it was the weirdest thing. I was doing this cakewalk, right? And my knee kind of buckled a little bit. But again, I'm young, so I'm like, oh, whatever. And I do the cakewalk and the cakewalk, and the next time I land, the kneecap rolled in, and then I ended up sitting on the floor. Now, the Negro Ensemble was a very small theater with a very intimate stage area. And so I was in shock. I couldn't believe I was sitting on the floor. And this was during the show. So, they shoot horses, don't they? So I get back up. I'm like, no, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to kick these legs. and back down again I go. So now I'm like, okay, there is really something wrong. I pushed myself backwards off the stage in the wing, into the wing, propped myself up. They had a couch back there, and I just started crying. I just boo-hooed. The show was still going on. There were people dancing and carrying on, blah, blah, blah. I'm standing there backstage all by myself. It was hilarious. Crying and crying and crying and crying and crying and crying. And then finally people came off, put me in a cab, I went home. But in the meantime, I went to my doctor and he said, "Oh, you just stretched some tissue." I never did anything that was really, really detrimental. And he introduced me to Judy Covan and I started learning Pilates and it is my lifesaver. It is my lifesaver and I teach it today and I have amended it for what I call the black body because when I finally got my certification, I felt like there's some missing pieces. There's some pieces that I understand, number one, as a dancer, but I understand as a Black woman and a Black person that you got to make certain adjustments for the Black body. There's certain things that, like, no, we need to shift and honor and pay honor and tribute to the beauty of the Black body. So we can't treat it like it's a cookie cutter body, you know. So that was my first big injury. Abdel and I always laugh about how many times we've been injured, and you figure out how to allow the body to heal itself by being respectful of it. You know, even as whether you dance or whether you exercise or whether you just a person walking down the street who's feeling strange. So you want to listen and you want to honor it. Gosh, what else? Oh, okay. One more thing. So I finished the Wiz show. Audition for, yes, this is good. Audition for the Wiz movie. Still in the Wiz show, audition for the Wiz movie. Louis Johnson, Ibaye, Louis was a choreographer. Now, mind you, about 5 people who were in the Wiz show were also in the Wiz movie, including me. At that point, I had graduated and I became the dance captain of the show. Right. So we rehearsed during the day for the movie, like 10 to 6. Then we would go from Astoria, zip back into New York and do the show. Right. So we did that for a while. So should I spill some tea right now? Yes. So the tea is that they were paying us $50 a day to rehearse for the film. We had no contract. Okay, but we did it because we wanted to do it, and we were 150 Black dancers from around the country. And it was this party. It was this huge party. Huge party. Mabel Robinson, Al Perryman, Stephen Simeon. I mean, the names just keep flowing. We just had a blast with each other. Eleanor McCoy, just names of folks. Just beautiful people, beautiful Black dancers. Okay, we got to the point where the models came in. When the models came in, I peeped at and I said, those models are being paid. Their agents are being paid. What's going on here? Why are we not being paid? I stopped, relax. Just wait, be patient. I said, okay, I'm gonna be patient. I'm patient now. We got to the point where we were getting ready to actually film. So now I'm gabbing. I'm like, we have to do something. This is crazy. This is crazy. Everybody's being paid except the black dancers. What's going on? Okay, so we met independently, all 150 of us. We got together. We said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to allow them to do our costuming, all of our accessories, shoes, gloves, hats, all of it. Let them dress you, let them take your measurements, try your costumes on, boom, boom, boom. The weekend before we started shooting, we struck. We said, we don't have a contract. SAG is not representing us. We're not coming in on Monday. So you have over the weekend to hire and train 150 other dancers who can fit those costumes. And then you can do your shoot.
I feel like you should hold on. Don't tell them the rest of the story.
Okay.
I feel like you should keep them on pause. Come on in, Maurice. I want to know the end of the story.
Okay.
Don't tell them. Come on in, Maurice.
Hello.
Let me tell you who's here. Y'all got a lot of folks here. So let me tell you who's here. Ella Dean is here. Iris Davis is here. Elizabeth Zimmer is here. Laura Marchese, yay! Carol Dilly, Sarah Takash, I hope I'm saying that right, Ann Davidson, Alexandra Rennick, Wendy Perrin, Joan Finkelstein, hey Joan, and Hank Smith is here.
Hank!
I know, Hank, that's my guy.
So, cheers, welcome. Maurice, you can't drink without cheersing me. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, yo. So I'm gonna leave y'all for a minute. And then later on, we have the part 2 of that story, but I'm leaving you for a minute. Have fun.
All right.
Talk to me.
So tell the rest of that story. No, just playing.
I don't know.
I listened to you. I was listening to everything you were saying, and it took me back to just being a swing, like understanding what it means to have to learn everybody's role. What does that feel like now? Like even talking to students about that, they wouldn't even understand.
They wouldn't. And now they're doing this really weird thing on Broadway where, or they did for, I have to be real, right? Yes.
Right.
They did for Fela. The swings were in the show. How can you be how can you have your own track as a swing and still keep an eye on what is going on stage?
They can't. It's to save money. It's basically
It's like no.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean I don't know. I have no idea how Broadway is gonna come back. I mean,
good question.
I'm wondering how the dancers, if they did that with Hamilton. I don't know. An amazing.
Good question. I don't know where Broadway is going to be when we get when we get back, because I know we're going to get back.
We're going to get
where
back.
Broadway is going to be.
Yeah.
Where do they start? They've lost so much revenue in a whole year with nothing going on, because they can't survive off of a half audience. It can't happen.
Right. They have to figure out probably how to do small productions, and then just scale everything down and start to build again.
Yeah. I'm going to be optimistic here and say that artists are winning right now. Artists that are creators you may not get your full Broadway show. That may not happen for a long time. But if you can make a show where you and a band and y'all can go somewhere and do something, small productions.
Yeah. But the other thing is we are all becoming filmmakers.
Yes.
We're all becoming filmmakers. So it's like a crash course in lighting and angles and particularly editing, which is a form of choreography in its own right.
Absolutely.
So
the thing is, I'm working on a show actually right now. They want me to film something that we've already done before, and we're looking for a director. And I told them, I said, "It's no point in you go finding a stage director. It's no point in doing that. We have to find somebody in film that understands how to film dance."
So that's a camera. That's the
This
camera.
is where these places are going to be filled, because somebody has to understand how to film dance.
Right.
And the only movie I really look back to and say was perfect is The Wiz and White Nights.
Well, the thing about The Wiz is when I saw it after doing it, I just felt like it was so dark. They didn't light for Black people. He lit for mood, and trying to remember his name. Anyway, he was a director that directed drama. He was not a musical theater director. He was really someone who
And that's why it was so dark.
Equus. That's why it was so dark. He directed Equus on Broadway. And so I was like, why is this first scene so dark? Why is, we were at the World's Fair and it looked like we were in a cave somewhere. It really did, I come on. And we had all this glitter and sparkles, and it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Sidney Lumet. And he's a wonderful director, just not for musical theater. Not for musical theater.
If there's any one thing in your career that's like stands out forever, like what moment is that? Like, what is that for you?
There are like too many of them. There's not too many of them. They come in waves, I think around the time that I joined the Wiz, I had the joy and the opportunity to dance for Sevilla Fort, who was one of our brilliant, iconic teachers and performers. She was diagnosed with cancer, and the entire dance and culture world came to the Majestic Theater to pay honor and tribute to her. Ellis Hazlip arranged the event, and he was the producer and curator for Soul. So go look that up. I mean, it's amazing programming. And so they asked Elio if I would do Roots. And I had just joined the Wiz. So again, it's me trying to balance out my need to do the concert and the joy of the paycheck and having fun on stage.
Yeah.
With my new group of buddies. So I said, yes, of course I would do Roots. I would love to do Roots. So they put me on in the right after intermission. That's like prime time.
Yep.
And she just walked in. And she sat in one of the boxes, on the boxes. And so to dance for her was the greatest gift.
Wow.
It was the greatest gift. I got to dance for her.
Yeah, I understand that feeling. When I was 16, we did the National Tap Day festival in New York City. Hank, if you're listening, I know you listening, Hank. You were there. I'm pretty sure you were there, Hank. And Gregory Hines came.
Oh.
Yeah, Gregory Hines came, and it was I got to dance for him for the first time. Yeah. And I got invited to come to work out with him in California that summer.
Wow.
And he got sick and he died that summer.
But so you caught him.
I caught him right before. Yeah, I got to dance for him one time.
That's all you needed.
That's all I needed.
That's all you needed. That's all he needed.
Yeah.
To really know that his legacy was moving forward through you. Because when I watch you dance, I see him.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Also, I want to talk to you about somebody I love more than anything in this world that you worked with too. And like, I know once you said George Faison, I was like, I have to bring up my guy. The living legend himself.
Yes.
Oh man, like
God.
I have so much love and respect for him. Like when I was 16, he mentored me. He was one of my theater mentors at 16. unlike you guys' era that I think is so dope. To me, you guys are really the dance world. There would be no dance world if it wasn't for this generation of The Wiz and Arthur Mitchell and people before that.
Yeah.
We missed a lot of that.
Yeah.
I came up at the tail end of Black Broadway. So I got a chance to see, to me, Broadway was bringing the noise, bringing the funk. I got the chance to see Tap Dance Kid when I was really, really little.
Good. Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
You know,
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, so I missed a lot of that, but I caught the tail end of that generation.
That era, yeah.
And he, to me, what made George so cool is that he was ageless. Like, he knew, we can talk about music, and he wanted to know about Tupac. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, he wants to stay current. He wants to stay with you.
He, to me, was the ultimate artist. Like, I still, to this day, lessons that he's taught me, or always choreographed with odd number of dancers, or
yeah. And I think for you, particularly for you, his sense of rhythm,
oh man,
it speaks to you.
Yes.
You know, he infects you with his sense of quick rhythm, change of direction, change of level, and it's like, well, my God.
Yeah. The only way I can explain him is his mind is like a kaleidoscope to me.
Oh, okay.
You look from afar and it's just this design. And then while this rehearsal is happening, he's building this beautiful, beautiful picture. And then one day you get on stage and you're like, oh, I see what he saw now. I didn't even see what he...
No, because you were too close to it.
He is a true genius in my... I think as far as Black dance, him, Louis Johnson, there's no getting... These people should be honored to me. They should have statues in Harlem. They should have...
They should.
What is Black dance without them? Like, what would we be?
Well, here's the funny thing, too. Charmaine is back. Watch out.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so, so look. So I met George my first summer learning modern dance. So I was just 17 then, too. I met him, and he was in the Ailey Company. They came up, like I told you, and I was so bold to Alvin. I want to be in your company, like right now. And Alvin said, but no. But it was like after the concert that they did, they had, a cast party. So I said to my mother, well, I got invited to the cast party. Can I go? And she said, sure. I'll be right behind you.
Oh, that's right.
And it was the wildest party I had ever been to. It was wild. It was wild.
Sure it was.
But it was honest and pure and true. And that's where I met you.
That's the other thing about y'all era. I wanted to party in your era. Our era, we don't know how to party. You guys, y'all hung out. Y'all.
You party.
Yeah. I mean, clubs like the Garage. And, one thing that I always say about dance is like, somewhere we lost that all of the dances that you see were social first.
Yep.
Especially Black, especially in African tradition. They were all social dances first. So when I'm teaching a kid tap and he's telling me, I don't even where did this come from? What is this for? No. This was communication. This was way deeper than dance. This was the way.
And in fact, I don't even use the word, I try not to use the word dance because it means this thing. So you think you can dance?
Yes.
No, it's movement.
Yes. Movement. Expression. Like Savion.
Right.
Expression. That's all it is.
Let's communicate. Let's
Yeah. Wait, guess what I have to do?
Okay.
Well,
first I got to tell you some more people here. Eric Harvey, Valerie Rashawn, Ariana Speak. I'm saying your name wrong, Ariana, but Ariana is new to the BDS family. Gabri Krista is here, and Gabri said, yup, we know how to make film. And Hank said, Sydney Jamay, yes. And Maurice Hank said, yup, I still got the program. And guess who else is here, y'all? Diane McIntyre.
Ah, hey.
I know,
Yes.
I know. All right, see you in a minute, Diane.
Okay, I'm out.
And Laura Marchese said you have to finish the story.
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right, cheers, Maurice.
Here's my water.
Welcome, babe.
Thank
Wait,
you.
you can't cheers and not take a sip.
Okay, all right, you see.
So introduce yourself and the floor is yours.
My name is Maurice Chestnut. I am a hoofer. I am what they would call a tap dancer, a hoofer. A hoofer is a person who uses tap dance as music or uses tap dance as rhythm. I've been studying this art form my whole life. I'm still studying it. I still feel like I'm a student. I still feel like I take other people's classes all the time. I've been blessed to be around some of the best and the greatest. I'm a fan of tap dance first. So we always have a conversation in the tap community about what we should call ourselves, and every tap dancer has a different one. I like tap artist. I think you should be. I think tap artist is really, really, really dope. I consider myself a tap artist. Yes, that's where I would start this. That's who I am.
You're not gonna tell a little bit more about where you came from?
Where I came from. Oh yeah, that was the next question. Okay, where I came from. I am from the great city of Newark, New Jersey. I love my city. Some of the dopest people come from my city. Don't believe what you hear. It's not true. So I grew up in a community and wow. Okay, so I started with a teacher named Deborah Mitchell, who is the founder and director of the New Jersey Tap Ensemble, which any tap dancer from New Jersey will tell you that they've been touched by that ensemble some way, somehow. I danced with her when I was 9 years old. I was one of her youngest company members at 9. And I just thank God for her. I think if it wasn't for her, I would not be here right now. I don't know. But she's my mother in the dance. And she instilled love of this for me. And everything I do is really a replication of her in a weird way. My outreach and teaching kids, it all comes from her outreach. She started. It was her. Having Leonard Oxley as my musical director, I started understanding how to put together a whole piece, not just a couple steps. It was an asset. It was one of my greatest assets throughout my career. That it was dance, but it was also stage. It was also film. It was also theater. You are also in theater. Costumes, going on stage looking a certain way. It all comes from her. It all comes from Miss Mitchell. Now, after Miss Mitchell, I met Savion Glover when I was 17. I had taken some master classes with him when I was a kid, but I still have a picture of me in the New York Times. I was looking at his feet when I was 9 years old in the New York Times, and they posted it. It's probably still in the archive somewhere. And I studied him. He was Michael Jordan to me. You have a poster of him in your room, and one day you say, this is the guy I need to take it. So, when he took me in, I toured with him for 10, 15 years. I toured with him for a long time. I just followed him wherever he went. He would be at theaters, I would just go. He would invite me to go. I would just get on planes with him. I went around the world with this guy. He is still one of my, you have many different mentors in your life. You don't just have one. You never just have one mentor. And I've been blessed to have many different amazing mentors, from George Faison to Jerry Allen to Jerry Gant to Savion Glover to Deborah Mitchell. It's all about the people before you that make you what you are. So now I look at dance as therapy. I look at dance as a way to express myself in many different ways. And funny enough, I don't care much about Broadway anymore. I love Broadway, but I'm not looking for a Broadway show. I just want to create work. I just want to create and I think if more Black dancers didn't want to do Broadway and things like that, I think we can get back to our community and make dance a. Yeah, I'm not against Broadway. I'm not against the industry. I understand what it is. I get it. I get it. I get it. But they always messed it up. Like they're the ones who always messed it up. You know, it was no Broadway for Jimmy Slide. You couldn't put him on. It was no Broadway for Buster Brown. There was no Broadway for Lon Chaney. These guys, they lived this day. They lived this. No show could encapsulate in their stories of how they got where they are.
But Black and Blue was fabulous, though.
It was the foundation of who we are today.
Yeah.
Any tap dance, they've all come. Dormisha has come from Black and Blue. Derek Grant came from Black and Blue, and of course Savion came from Black and Blue. My teacher, Miss Mitchell, I realized that my whole childhood from Duke Ellington was Black and Blue. It was all Henry Latang. My whole childhood, it was all Henry Latang. I didn't realize that until I was about 21, 22, and I went to dance with other people and realized that they didn't dance how I danced. I missed that about the dance world, though. I missed that about the art world, period. There used to be a time when you go to Philadelphia and people dance how they danced in Philadelphia. You go to New York, you go to Chicago, you go down south, you go to the West Coast, they dance totally different on the West Coast. It was totally different. I think with the internet, we all kind of, everything kind of, you know what's going on, it's no, yeah, we're all intertwined. We're all gentrified when it comes to dance now. We're all together. It's no, we all, you know, so I do miss that about the dance world. But I do love that I can reach out to somebody in Japan tomorrow. You know, I do love that it broke down a lot of walls. That I do love that a kid that made up a dance in his living room can tape it and go viral and make something of himself. That, you know, that's the power of the internet. You know, and it's beautiful. It's crazy too. You know, so that's where I'm at with it.
Who do you talk to now? Here.
Who do I talk to now?
Yeah, in your close tap world.
Oh yeah. Well, number one, Marshall Davis Jr. is like my spiritual guider. I don't make any decisions without talking to Marshall Davis Jr. Okay, that's my guy. I love Marshall Davis Jr. If you guys have never seen Marshall Davis Jr., I suggest you go Google him, YouTube him, know where he's from, know who he's from. He is a student of Steve Condos.
Fast foot.
Living students directly from Steve Condos, which is a lineage that I think a lot of people should understand about Marshall. Derek, I love Derek Grant. Me and Derek talk all the time. I love Derek. Jason, of course. I grew up, tap dance, we grew up we all, Iadeli. I work with Toria and Iadeli now. I love everything that they do. It's a small tap dance community of real tap dance, you know. George Faison, I still call George. I still talk to George Faison. I try to keep a line with all my mentors. Miss Mitchell, I mean, I just believe that, you know, I try to keep in line with everybody. And obviously, you know, funny enough, I talk to the kids. Like my students, I find I talk to now. Like I find out what's going on in their world now. I am to them who they were to me, and I have to accept that and be a better person. Good luck. So, yeah.
Wait, you have to tell the funny story about Happy Feet, please.
Which one? There's a lot of funny stories about Happy Feet.
Okay, tell one.
Tell one funny story about Happy Feet. I wasn't even supposed to do it. How about that? Let's start there. I was not supposed to be in this movie. This was supposed to be Savion Glover and Savion Glover alone. we happened to be doing a week at the Sydney Opera House. We happened to be performing a show that we did called Bear Sounds at the Sydney Opera House for the week. I was just excited to go to Australia. I'm a kid from Newark. I did not ever think that my 2 tap shoes are going to take me this far. So I got to Australia with him, and he put me on stage at the Sydney Opera House. And the director came to the show, and he saw me and Marshall, and he said, would you guys be willing to do this movie with Savion? You would have to stay in Australia for an extra 2 weeks. Sure. You got me. Done. Done deal. Stayed. We did it. Funny story is we had to play every character. So I guess the funniest story is like we all had to pick who was going to be the girl and who wasn't, like who's going to be. Yeah, so that's all of us. We took turns. And who had to be the female for this scene? Yeah, I was the swing. Diane, I was the swing. I had to do everything. I was the young kid. I had to do everything. Yeah, you know, I think one thing I would say about my mentors and our mentors is that a lot of people have mentors. I found out that a lot of young kids have mentors nowadays, thinking or hoping that it's going to get them somewhere else, instead of just learning and taking the ride with that mentor and learning the lesson. You know what I mean? I think a lot of kids nowadays, they say, oh, I'm gonna work with you because you hot and you're gonna give me more followers, and I can say this on my, you know, and it's like, no, learn. You're missing steps as you go. You're missing steps of how they got this way, of why they're here. Because if you just see yourself there, you don't know how they got there. Because your story is not going to be his story. You were going to say something. I was listening to you.
No. I was agreeing with you because the mentorship thing, it's so wonderful to hear you talk about you being a mentor.
Yeah. There's a lot of kids that the Foreman brothers. I was teaching at this dance school that I hated this dance school. It's a competition dance school. I dreaded it. And God has a funny way of putting you in situations that's like, I just don't like it here. But there's something there that you're supposed to be there for. And it was them. I walked into this class one time. It was these 2 little kids that were just funny. They were just hilarious. They just had a sense of humor that was like, you guys. And it was there. And God put me in that dance school just to find them. And here they are. They just did Miss Mays, The Life and Times of Mademoiselle. They were just featured on a TV show, CBS. So I was proud of them. Hadu, or Emma Bigelow, who I taught when she was 8, who's now doing, like, she's at Broadway Dance Center teach. Like, it amazes me. Teaching has always been a part of my career. It's always been something that I always loved to do for some reason. So I always took that and did it, you know what I mean? And I always felt a responsibility, especially with tap dance, to give it to more Black kids who couldn't afford to get it. I still teach at Quitman Street School in places in Newark where it's not for the money, it's for the exposure of these kids. Because I look at it like, and I still look at it like, this is your audience 10 years from now. If you want your art form to survive, it's these kids that you have to reach. It's not us. It's not our old stories. It's nothing without them. It goes both ways. So I totally accept that role, and I love watching them go from nothing to loving tap dance in 6 months. You know, it's an amazing thing. But I have a youth dance company. It's called Dance Therapy. And we did a show. We do a show every year. This year we did it in Patterson. And actually, funny enough that you said that, this year we're going to be filming it. We're going to be making it a actual QuickTime show. We're going to be doing it virtually this year. So we're going to be filming it in segments, and telling a story like that. But this dance company was started in 2014. I started in 2014 because my niece was killed in a drive-by shooting in Patterson. And when she died, she was a basketball player, and she loved dance, and she loved basketball. and I dedicated a piece to her. And I thought we were going to be doing it one time, and people have been asking us to do it every year after that. So that's been a blessing and something that I love to do. I love to, just create things. And yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on.
Dance therapy.
Yeah. You can support us by getting a sweatshirt on sale. We have hoodies for sale. You can hit me up on my IG, Max Washington, and pick up some merchandise.
I think they're gonna put it in the chat. We always try to do.
Yeah,
but say it again. Say it again, though, Maurice.
Okay, so my IG is Max Washington at Max Washington. Now that's a story within itself. For those of you who know, hey Hank, Hank knows who Max Washington is.
But tell us though, also.
Okay, I will tell you. So Max Washington is my alias. I got it from the rappers. Every great rapper has like an alias that they call themselves. So I figured since I was Maurice Chestnut, like I could be Max Washington. Max Washington is Gregory Hines' character in the movie Tap. He was a tap dancing bank robber. I thought it was so cool. So I took Max Washington from him and kept it and kept that name alive. I thought it was really good. So people really think my name is Max too. You wouldn't believe how many people be like, "Hey Max," and I'm like, "Nah, that's just my alias. That's an alias."
Turn off your phone, but also say one more time where they can get stuff.
Oh, on my Instagram page, Maurice Chestnut, on Facebook. You can search me on Facebook. I post them. I post a picture of my fresh hoodies. Whoever buys one, and you can inbox me, and I send them straight to you. I'm hand business. I'm myself. I'm a business owner. I do it all myself. Well, not all myself, because that's impossible. But yes, you can hit me directly, and I take orders, Cash App, and I send them. We have shipping as well. But most of it goes to our shows. Like we're raising money to film, for our studio, cameramen, things like that. So I always use merchandise as a way to get back to the company so we can do more with it. Nothing happens without money, as you know.
What are you doing every day now?
Every day. Wow. Okay, so since quarantine.
Well, your phone is still making noises. Turn off your notifications.
That's when anybody sends me an email, I get a Yeah, don't worry.
All right. Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
Well, what's my daily routine now?
Yeah.
Okay. So after 30, I've been dancing all my life and I thought I was in shape, but after 30, I started to get this little stomach that just quite never left. So now I work out every day and I put myself on the routine. And let me say this, as a dancer or entertainer, I've never been in one place so long that I've actually had a routine. And that kind of changes my life altogether.
COVID.
Yeah. I've never been in New Jersey for this long at one time. So I've been working out, working on myself. I'm still teaching virtually. I teach private lessons. I teach classes in Japan. I teach classes in Australia for people at midnight that just, want to take a dance class. Or it opened up so many avenues as far as teaching is concerned. So I still teach. I teach for Excellence Charter School in the Bronx. So I teach for them. I teach for Newark Public Schools. I do classes for kids at Newark Public Schools every day. And I teach at dance schools at night. So my dance schools, I teach at like 2 dance schools at nighttime in New Jersey. And those are either Zoom or face-to-face whenever we can get there. And that's my day-to-day. I actually have a day-to-day life now. I don't have a,
So you teach all day into the night.
Into the night. Yep. I take a nap during the day and then I go right back. I go right back that night and I teach more. I teach another class. Yeah. I do miss shows though. I miss performing. I miss being on stage. I miss the audience. I miss them understanding. I miss all of that. I can't wait to get back. I can't wait. But teaching, we can stay virtual for it. I'm good. We good. I mean, it's not the same, and it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same at all. You know, for a beginner, you have to be there. I have to be there for a beginner. You know, for all my students that are a little advanced, we can go online and we do it.
But the virtual can hang, you can hang in on the virtual, but I was gonna ask you what you miss, and you said it, right?
Yeah, being on stage is, trying to keep yourself sane through this is trying to keep company, trying to do things when you can. Honestly speaking, all my heroes had drug habits, right? And it all comes from being a performer and not performing anymore. Performing is a high for us that I think people don't understand about artists. And when they lose that high, it turns into something. You have to find productive ways to turn your energy into, and not different things, because what's happening is, a lot of when Broadway just shut down, or when everybody's shows just stopped, we were just in the house, like stuck to, we were just there, and to get through that, it took a lot of mental strength. It took a lot of, going back to what you really do this for. Why do you really do this? If you didn't love dance and you just did it for the money, you quit. You quit because you quit because it was the real artists survived. Those that really did this, those that it wasn't about the money, it wasn't about different things like that. I've always made the most money when I stopped thinking about it and stopped stressing over it. I gotta make money in this, blah blah blah. But when I stopped thinking about that and just made art, money always came. Well, I always, let me not say it was always, but I always had enough to get to the next phase because I was doing the right thing, and I still believe that to this day. And this is where I'm supposed to be.
You did one thing with, you didn't have masks on.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing with Savion and Marshall.
Yes. Yeah, we got together and did a show. We did a virtual show about a month ago. Me, Savion, and Marshall Davis Jr. Oh, it was I loved it. It was amazing. If you guys can still go check that out on YouTube, Google Marshall Davis Jr. Revelations in Rhythm. We did a piece. Marshall choreographed a powerful piece that we performed. In August, I believe. It
was warmer, so I think it was a lot. Earlier.
We did that on our own. We did that we went to Savion's house. We got the boards out ourselves. We hooked the mics up. We taped it ourselves. We did that ourselves. So I was proud of that. I was proud that we could pull it off and we can make it happen.
Felt good too, didn't it?
It felt so good to just be together and perform together. The camaraderie, the just dancing with your brothers. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like.
You should say who else was in the show too, though.
Oh, April Nieves. Wait. One other person. I don't want to forget her name. I want to say it correctly. But April Nieves, one of our features. And wait, I'm going to find her name in the playbill, and we're going to do it again. We have one more dancer with us.
I'm bad because I can't remember the names either, but I did watch it.
I know, I'll get her name before the end of it. But it was myself, Marshall Davis Jr., Savion Glover, April Nieves, and I'm going to get her name so I do not forget her. I promise you. We love
That's
you.
All right. It's time to bring our other guest back.
Yes.
And you're gonna find the link too, because then we can put that in the chat.
For sure.
Right?
Yes.
So people can still watch it. Come on back, Diane. And Abdel is here. Oh, hey, Abdel Salaam, who's gonna be here in just a little bit. Yeah, I can't say that yet, but
yes.
Yeah.
Soon.
But come on back, Diane. All right. So
yes,
we're gonna look for questions and so on. As Maurice is searching, guess what you have to do, Diane?
Okay, where was I? We were striking. We struck. We had a meeting. Well, actually, they called a meeting to advise us about the procedure and the protocol for filming and all of this and that. And we cracked their faces. We said, we're striking. And they became very flustered and very flabbergasted. And they said, well, what is it? What can we do? What is the problem? We said, well, first of all, we have no contract. Second of all, since most of us are going to be filming for the month of September and October, 2 months, so we had to join SAG. It was mandatory to join SAG once you clear a month. And they said, well, we can pay your initiation dues. And we said, no, you can pay us. We can pay our own dues. No, you can pay us. You can really pay us. And so I think that really shook them up. You know, what was it, Universal? I don't think it was Foxlight. I think it was Universal. And so they got into their little huddle, and we just sat there because we were holding all the goods.
That's right.
And we just said, okay, so what's it going to be? You need to call SAG. You need to let SAG know that you are now going to offer us contracts. We were not going to be day players. We were something between an extra and an actual person with lines. I don't know what that level is, but we established that as a precedent for dancers and for dance film. So the next dance films that came after ours was because we carried on.
Go ahead.
Trained them, yeah. And so I mean, they pulled themselves together, and we finished. We did the shooting. But I think what's important is that we were all together.
Yeah.
All 150 of us said, no, we are going to do this together. We are not going to fall. Nobody's going to fall away and decide to sneak in and whatever. No, we are all going to stay together on this. So that's something that I think the young people need to know, that they have that kind of power. Yeah. They really have that kind of power, and they need to.
I think, Maurice, were you going to say something, Maurice?
No, I'm just listening to everything.
Wide eye, right?
Yeah.
Wide eye.
Yeah.
But, so here are some, as we always do, try to find some questions in here. And there are a few, but there are also some very beautiful compliments to y'all's. To y'all's. Okay. Joan Finkelstein, so happy to be here to hear these luminaries. Aw. Hank Smith said, I remember Diane doing Elio's Roots. Wow. Hey. Diane from Laura Marchese. Were you in the company with Ilona Copen of blessed memory?
Which
with Elio's company?
Who? Elio's company? Mm-hmm. No, she may have been after me.
Okay. All right. Joan Finkelstein. I'd love to learn more about what you learned in this regard, Diane. I'm not sure. Oh, maybe Pilates modifications, I think.
Ah. Okay.
Aha.
Okay, we can talk. We can talk about that. It's basically about the idea of the quote unquote neutral spine.
Oh.
Which means that yes, there is a natural curvature in the lower back. There is that. And many Black people, this curvature is exaggerated. And so what I try to do with my clients is to help people stretch that out. And so I encourage people to ignore the neutral spine and work to lengthen through that sacral area as an exercise, not as a way to be forever and ever. But this is an exercise. I feel that the people who use the concept of the neutral spine strengthen the body to maintain the neutral spine as they move through life. We have to be able to be flexible with that. We have to be able, and then people who are having lower back issues need that area stretched out. So that's just one thing that I looked at. I was like, no, this can't. And even my teacher, Judy, she said, no, I don't agree with the neutral spine. You keep doing what you're doing.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. Maurice,
Yes.
Hank didn't know.
Yeah.
He said, I actually didn't know that, Maurice, about your incognito name.
I love it.
Oh, wait, Hank has seen the movie Tap. What is he saying right now?
He said, I actually didn't know that, Maurice, that you were taking on that name.
It was White Knights, right? Was it Tap or White Knights?
No. The movie Tap. His
Tap.
character was named Max Washington.
I remember Tap. I love Tap.
Oh, the movie Tap. His character was named Max Washington.
Yep.
One of my favorite movies. Still.
Yep.
Yeah. We need to film a Tap 2.
Yes.
Who's gonna be in it?
Me.
That's right.
Dylan. I'm just playing. No, I mean, there's a whole generation of hoofers that are like Jason Samuel Smith. There's a whole generation of hoofers that are here that demand that, to me, are on that are what they were then.
So y'all need to go ahead and make your own film. You don't need a remake of Tap.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it.
We are all in talks, and
yes, that'll be fabulous.
Yeah, just to put together the newest our generation of Tap in our community.
Tap, and call it Hoof.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. I like it.
Something's happening right here.
I know.
Yeah.
Diane said you're supposed to do this, Maurice, if she says it.
Let's chat.
Yes.
More.
Yes.
And here's the other funny story. I wish you had been my teacher. That's probably why at 3 years old, whoever that woman was, she was horrible.
Yeah,
Mrs.
We get a bad one sometimes because it's hard to get a good tap teacher. It's really hard to get a good tap teacher.
But it was in 1950 something, so
But Diane, here's the crazy thing. Now with virtual, you can be a tap teacher.
Okay. My tap class in the kitchen. Good.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Oh God.
Wait, are y'all gonna share this tap lesson with us somehow?
We'll put it. We'll broadcast it, right? We'll broadcast it.
Look at Diane.
Well, we'll see. Let's see how we do first.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that.
Oh,
so
God.
Hank said he only saw the movie once.
What? I believe it. I believe him.
Hank is a very busy person.
No, Hank has all the footage in the world, though. He has the
world.
Has the vault. He has the vault of vaults.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't ever. He has the vault. So Hank, I know Hank. It's okay. So I got to come up to Bloomfield. Matter of fact, he's a professor is he still at Bloomfield College?
I don't know. Put that in the. Whoever is out there doing our chat, Kimani, Nick, Renee, ask Hank if he's still at Bloomfield College.
Yeah.
And Abdel wrote something nice. Abdel said, great watching this for the stories, process, and the interaction in the segue between them. Your husband gave you a big up. He said, thanks, Charmaine. You're welcome, You're welcome, brother Abdel, Baba Abdel. And he said, hi, Di. He upstairs. Okay. He's upstairs from that. Wave upstairs.
Hey.
He says, hey, Maurice.
Hey.
Thanks again for this. That's so sweet. Oh. Did you two finish talking about what y'all needed to talk about?
Listen, this show can go on for 5 hours and we will not be finished talking about what we want to talk about. So
I know.
Me and her have to talk. We have to talk. We have to talk
some more talk.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
That Broadway world. I wish I saw you in The Wiz, Diane.
That was the most fascinating thing. I think my favorite section was obviously the tornado. And at the moment that I was asked and allowed to, and I was needed actually to be the eye of the tornado.
Wow.
So our costume, it had a headpiece, right? That was actually a harness that was attached to fabric that went up and over a pipe and hung down into this huge garbage can. So as you come out, this fabric is trailing behind you, but it's up. So the struggle is figuring out how not to get choked, you know, and to actually hold on to some of it while you're doing George's fast footwork.
Wow.
And brushing and, you know, what's the other thing? Boshing with these legs and all of that stuff.
Better get that leg up.
And Pilates, baby, Pilates. And doing all of that while you weave around the stage with dancers carrying on, and you wind around the house, then you climb up the back of the house to get on the roof. Now, mind you, you're still attached to this fabric. To get on the roof, and then I used to unleash whatever was going on in my life that needed to get out. I would scream, I would grind the roof, I would do whatever, penchés, all kind, just jiggies, everything, because I was the eye of the tornado. I could do anything I wanted up there. And then you have to come down and retrace your steps.
That's that kaleidoscope you're talking about, right, Maurice?
That's
Yes,
it,
that's that
Maurice.
kaleidoscope.
That's it.
That's that kaleidoscope I'm talking about.
Yep.
Like that's
And
it.
just like the men were the raindrops and the women were the wind. And it was all of this stuff was going on. It was amazing.
Man,
That would be George Faison.
that's the genius of George Faison. Yes.
Oh, our friends are back, the BDS team. So, yo, we usually ask at this point, didn't it go fast though?
Went
It
really
sure
fast.
did.
We usually ask if we have, wait. We have to ask everybody out there, send fabulous birthday wishes to Diane in the chat, please.
Happy
And
birthday.
Kim and Imani. Oh, wait, Hank did say, Diane, I retired from Bloomfield.
Oh.
I'm not mad at you, Hank. Go ahead. Get this. You better listen.
He earned it. He earned it.
He earned it. So birthday wishes to Diane into that, in the chat. Look. And now let's wait, our version of happy birthday. Come on, Nick, help us in here.
Yes.
Come on. Maurice, come on, you start.
Charmaine.
Here we go. Happy birthday.
Birthday to you.
I'm a dancer.
Happy
Birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
It sounds
Get it,
so
Nick.
bad because we're not together.
Go shorty. It's your birthday. We go party.
Like it's
It's your
your
birthday.
Shorty. Wait, any more? Wait, what's the other one, Diane? What's the other one that you said? The other birthday song.
Oh, from Alice in Wonderland.
Mad Hatter.
A very merry on birthday to us, because it's not your birthday, so it's an unbirthday.
Oh, so we sing it to us.
I
No,
sing
we
to you.
said, oh.
I sing it to you because it's an unbirthday for all of you.
And everybody watching.
Yes, unless there's another Scorpio in the house, which there might be. So a very merry unbirthday to you. So it's the Mad Hatter. And my father, when I was 3 or 4, gave me an Alice in Wonderland birthday party. So that's how I know all of that Alice in Wonderland stuff. He made these huge cards that were the Queen of Hearts. And yeah, he was really a busy man.
A lot happened when you were 3 or 4.
Yeah, they were feeding me.
Uh-huh.
They were feeding me for sure.
Yeah.
Do we need to say any more shout outs to anybody?
Whoa. I'm going to shout out Corey Hutchins and Derek Grant.
Yeah, Corey Hutchins.
Corey Hutchins.
Yep, I want to shout out some of my young choreographers who've worked with me: Makeda Thomas, Majira Ross, Sydney Mosley. I want to thank my husband for continuing to honor and support my career, my life, even as a older dancer, and all of the actors that I work with. So that's just a little teeny bit. And thank Diane McIntyre, and thank Shona Tucker, and thank Ibae Shaniqua Baker Scott. Woo! Yes, it's a
lot of names, right?
Forever. So I'm gonna let Maurice jump in.
Oh, well, I'm gonna give shout outs to all the ancestors around the world that have made this to be. I'd like to give a shout out to Charmaine and BDS for doing this. This is amazing. It is needed to be done. We need to hold the stories of Black performers for the youth. Yeah, shout out to everybody. Shout out to Marshall Davis Jr., who we talked about. Shout out to Savion Glover. Shout out to Deborah Mitchell. Just shout out everybody, you know.
Everybody.
Oh, yay. Thank you. Well, cheers to everybody. Big cheers. Take a sip after you cheers.
Now let's go watch it.
Who's next?
And y'all, this is the end of November for us. We're taking a break. BDS is taking a little holiday.
Giving of thanks.
Be safe, everybody.
Yes, please.
Do what you know you need to do. Be safe. But we will be back at the top of December for 2 weeks only with Abdel R. Salaam.
Yeah.
Marlice Yearby.
Woo!
Woo! Jawale Willa Joe Zalar.
Woo! Woo!
And one more, but we are waiting for super confirmation, and we'll be 2 weeks in December. Support us.
Yes.
Please. YouTube. Subscribe.
YouTube.
Please.
Talk to him, Kamani.
Please.
Oh,
Yes.
the Instagram, the Twitter, our Venmo, everything is out there.
Yes.
And everybody should have the link that we sent, right?
I put it
in the chat.
Oh, and wait, are there birthday wishes that you want to read that anybody dropped in the chat for Diane?
Happy birthday, says Maurice.
I received that.
Yeah, there we go.
Here we go.
Wait, in the YouTube, do you see any, Nick?
Yeah, from Diane McIntyre, we have happy birthday, Diane. Have a glorious year. Deborah Ahmed says, we said it Monday, but here it is again. Happy birthday. Hank Smith says, happy birthday, Diane. Renee Redding Jones, happy birthday.
Oh my God.
Krista, happy birthday, dear Diana. Ann Davison, happy birthday. Anita Macbeth, happy birthday. Die Peace and love, Anita and Toby. Valerie Rashawn, happy birthday. And Alexandre Remnick says, happy birthday and abundant blessings.
Blessings, Diane.
Okay.
Yeah.
See that? I will not be sleeping tonight. I'll be floating. Okay.
That's right.
I will too, Diane. I will too.
I know. I got that, boy. Wow.
It's always so hard to sign off, but there's always more. So come back, people. Come back. Yeah. Thank you for joining us tonight. See you in 2 weeks. Gobble, gobble. Be safe. And what do you say to that, Nick? Mask. What do you say? Mask on.
Mask on.
Mask on. Cheers.
On.
Mask on.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a good one. Kamani.
Thanks. Good night.
Don't go anywhere, Maurice. Oh.